happens. So now I am streaming now. I think. Well, I hope I am. Let's see. Well, we'll see. I'll just stream until I get bored. Welcome to another game of Apex. And we're playing the mixtape. Primarily mixtape. I don't really like playing normals unless you have a squad with you. It makes not really much sense. I hope the audio, everything's good. Let me just actually
Fence deployed.
check.
The fence is complete.
Oh no.
Fence in position.
Let me check. Let me check on my phone. But the audio and everything sounds like.
Attention, a team is nearing victory.
We have nearly won.
I'm going to get the mic.
Shields recharging.
I need to adjust the audio levels probably. Because you can barely hear me. Let me see what I can do. Testing. Let me reduce Apex by like a few decibels. Let's see what's going on now. See if I can hear myself.
You are the Apex champions.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing. Reduce Apex by a few decibels. Let's see. Testing. Such a big delay. Let's see. I think it's good now. We'll see if the delay is any worse. Not the delay, sorry, the audio. Hopefully the audio is good. If not, it's all good. It's not like this is professional. It's just for some hobby side things, hopefully. Okay, I think that's the audio setup done. I don't know how YouTube even does live. Let me just Google YouTube live. Does it? YouTube live viewers. I guess that's the word. I want to see how many viewers YouTube live vs Twitch. There's not really. How much viewers does YouTube live have? Doesn't really have a good place to figure that out. I'm just googling stuff, but it doesn't seem to be really good. When it comes to mixtape, I tend to play it quite for funsies, I guess. I'm really shit with the bow, so I'll try and see if I can do some fun stuff with some bow shots. We'll see. We've got a full team at least, none of the half team, no team setup. I love the new enemy.
Zone C
I
has
love the
been
new
captured.
prowler, like the updates that they've done. Come on, gun, come out.
Why? They got a zone. Why? They got a zone.
I am
Zone B
bad.
has been captured.
They went
C'est
in
notre
there.
zone. Allez, tout le monde.
I'm gonna see. Ooh. Oh no. Oh. Damn, I even realized he was there. Check the windows and stuff, man. It's like a horror game.
Zone B has been captured.
They stole that zone. Nobody steals from me. Opening shop. Come see the merchandise.
I surge with rage.
Sponsored by Chevron.
Jump drive in position.
Has been neutralized.
We neutralized their zone. And I feel just awful about it.
Zone C captured.
That zone's ours. Yes, planting fences. If the fence gets crossed, we'll know. Recharging my shields.
Zone C has been neutralized.
Recharging.
Smart bullet deployed.
Attention.
Activating jump drive.
Boston has taken its zone.
You are coming home with me tonight.
We've neutralized the zone. Replenishing my shield.
Zone A has been captured.
Fence in position. If the fence gets crossed, we'll know. Just topping up my shields.
Smart bullet landed a hit. Very powerful in here. Throwing an arc star.
Recharging my shield.
Just topping up my shields.
This is really, really hard, this check. I really think I'm gonna swap.
They stole that zone. Nobody steals from me.
Oh, that was a nice shot.
Laying fences.
Oh,
Anyone passes
nice.
through here, you'll know.
The one after. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, no. Oh, there's again a corner to my right, I think. No, just that guy. I'm gonna change my guns. I don't really like playing the bow check. I'd rather go some snipers. I'll see how I do with the R99.
Got shut
R99
down.
is pretty fun.
I'm scared.
I remember at one point it was bad, now it's fun again.
Firing a smart bullet.
So much fun. I should really go for that. That would really help
They've neutralized the zone.
significantly more than. Oh, you see how fun this is compared to the. Oh no.
They stole that zone. Nobody steals from me. Don't mind if I do.
Oh, I love the Eva. I love the Eva. I love the Eva.
Anyone passes through here, you'll know.
I love my team. Oh my god, there's a guy right here.
They took a zone. Don't they know who? Throwing an arc star.
Oh my god, there's even more. Oh, so much more. But so much better than going with the bow check as well. Oh, it's still right here. Why don't no one take it? This is really... Someone's even opened it, I think. They just didn't take it. They took some other stuff. Actually, I might come back for that triple take. I love sniping. We'll see if I can climb on top and just put it on the other side. Actually, it might be better to just zipline. Nah, climbing top is better. Zipline would only kind of, I think, force the respawns to happen to the left side. Well, you kind of want them both between B and C, I'd guess.
Zone B has been captured.
You can't do it on the roof. That's kind of sad.
Don't they know who they're dealing with?
Oh, right there.
Portable respawn beacon.
Oh yeah, I need the sniper. That's what
See an arc star.
I need. This is prime position for sniping. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is I'm
Oh
gonna
no,
probably
Recharging my shields.
fight and die. And then afterwards I'll try and get a sniper from the care package weapon. Let's see if we can take B. Oh, I wish this was like Battlefield 4. You could just press Q to ping people. And the guy would go wee.
Throwing an arc star.
Oh my god, Eva, please. For the love of my life. Oh, I thought I fenced that guy out, but I don't know, the second one didn't go through. Anyways, time for snapping. To the right over there. I'm gonna drop this because that's not a gun I wanna
Smart bullets away.
play, to be honest. Honestly, I should be looking, and I don't know if the dead people drop. Oh, someone's already taken it. That's screw it. I fist. Who needs a triple take when your fists are more reliable? Hmm?
Zone C has been neutralized.
Bad news. They neutralized the zone.
Zone C has been captured.
Let's go. Nice. Armor, heal a little
Recharging my
bit.
shields.
Oh, nice. Another R99. Don't mind if I do. I love pistols. Automatic low roll sliding. That's perfect.
There's a smart bullet deployed. Recharging my
Probably
shields.
to the respawn point.
Recharging my shields.
I'm kind of surprised we're struggling so bad with the respawn beacon. I thought that was game over with all the...
Bow here.
Oh no!
To do it self-building.
Giving a
I
frag
love
a
hit
full
firing.
Let's
I'm gonna go slide, baby, slide.
We'll know. Just topping up my shields.
throwing jump drive.
Laying fences. Just topping up my shields.
I love Watson's new buff. I wish I
They
had
neutralized
them.
the zone.
Oh, nice.
Jump drive.
Captured.
Time to run.
Zone B
I'm throwing an arc
Got
star.
a golden
Firing a smart
R99.
bullet.
Throwing an planting fences. If the fence gets crossed,
Oh, that scared me. I thought I was dead
just
there.
topping up my shield.
Oh, I am dead now. Oh, I'm so dead, but that was so fun. Felt like a beast for a second there. Just that tiny, tiny second where you feel like you're really good and then you get brought back down to earth. That's what we're here for. We're here for the small highs. The big highs aren't really that good. Oh, God.
Got shut down.
I don't know if many
Back in the
people
fight. Allons-y.
enjoy playing mixtape, but it's certainly the most low stress fun thing about the game. Where are you? Where is the enemy? I'm jumping off. The last thing I can do is support you in that sense. Oh, I wish I could climb back.
Recharging my shields.
I thought they boosted Bangalore a wee bit, but I'm not sure. I don't really play Banga Banga.
Fence in position.
Oh, come on, I love you, Eva. I just don't know how to work with you. Genuinely, it's such a hard gun for me. Like I have better luck with like every other gun, snipers included,
Stinger my smart bullet.
compared to
They
the
got the zone. Allez, tout le
Eva.
monde.
I'm just gonna put it back. I'd rather just be forced to reload my gun
Hope you had expensive
rather than be forced to play with the Eva. I'll take that. I'll take... I don't really like the burst one. Even though it's broken, I swish. The guy right here.
Firing a smart bullet.
Nice.
The zone's ours. Sublime. I'm throwing an arc star. I'm throwing an arc star.
I'm bad.
Incoming.
Stinger incoming. That boy is relentless.
Zone B has been captured.
We've captured the zone.
I don't know what to do. He's just going everywhere. He's playing with me, man. He's playing me like a fool. So good.
Tossing an arc star.
I guess was good with his Revenant passive. Doing lots of bungee jumping and stuff. Oh shit. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I love burr. You just go brrrr. R99 supremacy. Brrrr. No aiming. All R99 supremacy. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna keep my phone here so that I can observe if there's any chatter, which this being, mediocre gameplay would be a surprise. But I mean, 2k damage, I'm proud of myself, Just gonna listen to the audio. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm loving the audio from this mic. What kind of mic is this? An expensive one, I know that much, and I rarely use it. I like to use the integrated mics on my computer, just because I'm lazy. Trying to set up, it's an Elgato mic, that's the one. It's just a little bit expensive. Got no fancy things for it, just literally plugged into the... just put on top of a table and literally that. I've tried to mess with some of the AI modules for it, but it's just such a finicky thing. Sometimes they work, most of the times, the second time they never work. And then they break forever. So I've kind of given up on that. I'm just going to use it as is.
Recharging.
Finding them. Caught like a rat in a trap. Spotted. Double timing.
Ooh! I actually thought, because Elgato's using the AI stuff to remove noise from your,
Topping up my shields.
I don't know, fans or whatever. And it's quite cool. Like, it works really well. But then everybody's saying that, AI is gonna take over everything. I'm skeptical. But I've started using ChatGPT to help with some of my learning, some of the things I'm trying to do, specifically with regards to language. And man, am I impressed. Like, it gets a lot of stuff. I'm bad with aim. But it gets a lot of stuff, right, significantly better than kind of...
I'm ready to fight again.
It's not, I don't want to say that teachers are a wee bit wrong or anything like that, but when you're starting from scratch on a topic, it's really hard to make any progress with it because the people teaching you are very experienced with it, so stuff that they might think is not worth. I don't even know, the stuff that I would struggle with, they wouldn't even think to teach. Basic sentences, understanding what, I don't even know the words to describe language, to be honest. But those things, ChatGPT is really good at clarifying. I'll be like, ChatGPT, make sure you tell me what exact sentence structures are. Tell me word by word meaning, break it down for me, repeat, yada. And I love using table formats for that. And man, do I feel like a genius when you go back to class and class you've been struggling with, and now you're actually doing okay, and you're like, you're no longer the worst in the class, I guess. But AI's got its use, but at the end of the day, I think the use cases for it are very niche, I'd like to think, based on where I see it, very niche audio processing, very niche, I don't want to use the word niche actually, but very specialist, I guess. You've
Time
got
to mind you.
video generation, those kind of examples, help with languages and the like. But I have not seen an example of it, and if anyone has, do let me know. I'd love to be educated on this. Where
Here to give us an edge.
it's got an independent role, I guess. I think the closest thing to that would be like driving, I guess, autonomous vehicles.
Pop in the chimney.
They have that independent where they've got to make decisions to prioritize. Ooh, I don't like this gun either. This gun is so hard for me. Where they've got to make a priority assessment, is it better for me to hit this pedestrian or hit an oncoming car? And those kind of decisions are the ability to prioritize, rationalize, etc. I've not seen it. It's more like a tool that I use as research purposes. It gives me answers to specific questions because it's got it's been trained on knowledge, what that knowledge means, etc.
Give my shield a recharge.
Why I would recommend one type of thing versus another. That's where it starts to get really
Pop in the chimney.
messy, I'd like to say, because it's just generating output, so it doesn't. I don't think
Give my shield
there is
Shields are depleted.
value in its decision making at that point, because knowledge, to create new knowledge, to make a recommendation is basically new. I guess in a way it could be old knowledge, but I'd like to think it's new knowledge. It's not something you get trained on. I recommend you get this based on your current status, and that's, I think, what people imagine AI do, which if works good enough for their use case, that's okay. But I think for that reason I struggle to be fearful for AI, It's not gonna take significant things away. It might assist with parts and things, but that's where I see it as. Oh my god, I am getting good at this.
Defense deployed.
I am getting good at this. Oh my god, I'm getting good at this.
Fence crossed. You're not alone.
I'm no longer getting good at this. I'm bad at this now, but it's okay, I've not died.
Spotted. Double timing it.
Oh, I love playing Watson. Feel my heartbeat. I just need a kill to get out of this burst gun.
Thought I'd come back.
The burst gun is quite good, but it's oh my god, someone's got a knife and it's not us.
Recharging my shields.
Oh, the other gem. Oh, it's us. Nice. GG's. I'm really excited for the future. I was watching videos about
You are the
air
Apex
travel.
champions.
I've gotten the opportunity to travel a little here and there for the first time in my life. And man, it's just so fun. It's unbelievably fun. You go to a different place, different culture, different people. I used to hear all these words. They don't really make sense until you experience it. That's the honest, genuine truth. What is culture? I see people everywhere. What do you mean, people? Weather, environment, it's easier for us to visualize and understand as people, but these other nuanced things I personally find really, really hard. And just being in another culture, environment, and that culture and environment just welcoming you into that different world is so amazing. How to try so much good food, view so many different architecture, design choices, go into so many different buildings and nature, urban and rural. the different ways of thinking and working, kind of stuff that I never see. You know, skyscrapers. I don't know, for you this might be normal, but skyscrapers, you know, where I live, you don't see them. The government wants to prioritize, you know, kind of minimizing the destruction of nature, and doesn't want to encourage behavior of wastage. Skyscrapers, you know, they're very expensive, they're very resource intensive,
Laying fences.
and so having low normal houses, I've never been that high before.
We've got company.
Then going to a country where skyscrapers are norm due to the massive amounts of population,
Fence in
you
position.
know, due to the cheapness, you know, land is more expensive, so it's just cheaper to just
Fence in
build up,
position.
you
Fence
know,
them in,
and
fence
then
them out.
just being so, I don't, it's hard to explain. Maybe people that go and climb mountains, I guess, or whatever, they would understand the feeling of being so high up. Just the sensation of it. I don't want to say it makes you feel.
Recharging my shield.
I know I want to say this. It makes all your problems disappear. It makes you feel as if
Fence in
you've.
position.
Opening a gate.
It's a similar feeling to when I'd seen the sea when I was, you know, younger. It feels as if you just melt into the world. No more stresses, no more issues.
Fence them out.
You know, you gain an appreciation for stuff, and it gives you confidence. You know, whatever worries you have, those things, you know, you may be anxious, you may be stressed, you may want to make decisions that, you know, have uncertainty involved, and those could be difficult decisions. But once you go outside to them, you know, out of your comfort zone, you gain appreciation for how, you know, how your uncertainties are natural, and there's no need to be worried. Whatever you're doing will succeed. Having the confidence to approach, you know, just commit to action.
Stopping up my shields.
Everywhere you go and see, or everywhere I've seen personally, is that success comes from action. You know, people want to start businesses, they want to go on, you know, a lifetime adventure, they want
Planting
to
fences.
do X, Y, and Z, and unfortunately for most of us, that's going to be next to impossible. As sad as that is. And the reason for it, I don't really have.
Someone crossed a fence.
Sometimes I
Get
think
ready.
there's enough wealth for at least world peace, but in terms of
Someone crossed a fence. Get ready.
humanity as a whole, I think we're still needing to advance further for traveling, for travel to be so cheap that everyone can travel.
Back to
And that's the
finish
future I'm
what I started.
excited for, to be honest. You know, I was watching a video on the new Boeing 787, whatever it's called, and how it manages to make travel even cheaper, etc. And that just
The circuit
gets
is
me so
complete.
excited for life, you know. When,
Planting fences.
you know, I'm hopeful in the future
Just
the
turning
basic
off my
needs
shields.
of everybody will be fulfilled. And then the higher kind of
The circuit is broken. We've got the
other functions will start to take priority in a way, you know. Stuff like
Knocking at the door.
wanting to travel and see the world, etc.
Shields are recharged.
And
Just topping up my shields.
you know, we're preparing for that. I'm seeing the picture. I'm seeing the
Circuit
trend,
broken. Someone else
and I'm not seeing him though.
fence deployed.
It's just
Double timing it.
something.
Circuit broken. Someone else is here.
It's something I really. Come on. Oh, if I had jumped slightly more, that would have been amazing. But yeah, I think
Looking for the void nexus.
people as a whole, well, I think life will get easier.
Powering up a void nexus.
I know it's hard to imagine, But I think not in your generation or in mine or in your lifetime, but
Fence
whoever's to come afterwards.
Chimney. Breaking through the gate.
I'm, you know, every sucker I guess out there sees. Well, I don't know if they all see it, but I've read everywhere. You know, you see the examples from writers from back in the day, from olden times. You know, imagining hover cars and XYZ, the future. You know,
Just topping off my
everybody
shields.
with food plentiful. You know, 3D printing organs, world peace. And I guess I'm just a sucker.
Giving him the chimney.
I like to believe that
Double timing.
we'll get there.
Planting fences.
I
The
think there'll
fence is
always
complete.
be
Just topping
kind
off my
of
shields.
class inequality.
Spotted.
People always need a reason to feel well, not a reason, but there needs to be some kind of validation as to why you've got leaders.
Charging shield.
And if you don't have leaders, then people, you know, democracy is easily thwarted by offering everybody, you know, free food and money. So with that in mind. Oh, come on. No.
Fence
No.
deployed.
Come on, I really don't like this gun. And so I think there'll always be, you know, back in the day it was the gods decided I was meant to be
Just
king,
topping off my
and
shields.
by divine reasoning.
Spotted.
Nowadays it's, you know, moved on to caste systems. You're just a lower person, a lower life form. And that's how you win the game. And so there'll be, I don't know, you know, people now claim it's democracy that elects leaders and they're our voice, but I don't see it that way. I just think it's a lot of money and a lot of brainwashing.
Apex champions.
I don't know. The world is complicated. But the gaming is fun. Another one! Can't believe 25. No, that's not 25 kills, only 8 kills. Meh, it's okay. At least I'm consistently bad. Yeah. I'm just excited for... I remember I was younger. I remember maybe 10 years ago. There was anime. So I used to watch a lot of anime. I think most people that have had a similar upbringing to mine can relate, you know. Being, you know, kind of poor, you don't really, you know, get the same opportunities as others. You don't go out, you know. Some of the stuff I see around me where people kind of talk about, I'm like, oh shit, I've never done that. And they talk about it as so easy, you know. I think one case was skiing. Never done skiing before, and then I was like, I felt so out of my comfort zone. But of course I recommend everybody to try everything. Skiing is fun. Give it a shot. But then comparing comparison is the thief of joy, but seeing others, how they treat it so naturally, and you're here falling on your ass, and you just feel, you know, well, you don't feel, but, you know, I thought about that experience, and it kind of gave me the, you know, what do they say? Something is 2020, like, you know, the past, you know, you always see with a bigger picture in mind. So the thinking that, you know, not having the same opportunities as others and being poor, you only have kind of one choice, I guess, to escape into the world of fantasy. So that's what most of my life, I mean, even up to this point has been. I'm slowly, you know, I don't want to say hashtag blessed, but I'm slowly, hopefully in the future, you know, getting more opportunities, accumulating wealth. But I've got a philosophy, and I think I'll never be rich. And I think my philosophy is to do with the fact I'll never be rich. And that's that I believe the economy, the world runs on spending, you know. You spend money, so the shopkeeper gets to have a salary, they have employees, you know, and hoarding wealth, you know, that, you know, in order to become rich, you've got to hoard a lot of money. That, you know, if you're removing money from a system, everyone else is having less, they're having to work more. And so I think, that's something I don't really agree with. I don't think I think people should be spending more. I think anyone that's got disposable income, screw it, you start spending it. I mean, I was thinking about debt as well, but I'll get to that in another, maybe in a few minutes or whatever. But not being afforded opportunities because you're poor basically means you go to your imagination. And I used to watch an anime called Sword Art Online. Everybody sings, solo leveling nowadays. And so, brainwashing, if you repeat something enough times, people will believe it. Or in my case, I'll start replacing words in my brain that sound similar. But yeah. And there was this... I just wanted to teleport to the future when I was watching Sword Art Online. Having the ability to transport your mind into another world, escape all your troubles, no need to work, just all fun and games. I don't know about anyone else, but personally that sounds amazing. Being able to try foods, go to destinations, there's so much, and all at the cost of only electricity and some fancy hardware. And I think I'm still like that. When I see new technology that revolutionizes anything from, making water more accessible, housing more accessible, transport more accessible. I think all of these just brings joy to me. I like, and it's that thing of, I like to inherently think people are selfish. And in that weird selfish sense, it is in their best interests to not, people don't want to see poor people. For that selfish reason that I don't want to, I see this a lot, people put, undesirables and hide them away. Well, because they don't like to see it. I think most people empathize naturally. As being a society, I think, you have to be next to people, and successful characteristic is to at least emulate empathy, even if you don't have it. And because of that, people just don't like seeing others in pain, others struggling. That's one thing that I think is what makes us as a society really good. Having empathetic people, I think, means in the future, whenever the opportunity arises, we'll see less poverty, we'll see happier people, we'll see a better world. Because we don't want to feel like shit. It's not out of niceness, it's just about not being a shit. Anyways.
Just topping off my shields.
That's kind of my brief thoughts about, the future of humanity, I guess. I don't know if it's the future of humanity or whatever, but I guess my thoughts about the future. Yeah. Because I've been watching a lot of plane videos. There's a guy called Mentor Pilot. What's his other channel? I don't remember.
Sponsored by Chevrex.
One or the other.
Throwing jump pad.
I got into aviation.
Faster, faster.
And because of that, I'm looking into planes. I was watching a simulation. Microsoft. What is it called? Like flying something. I don't remember. It's like just the default kind of best software for, I guess, flying. And people at Microsoft have been, it's like, I think that their longest running, I seen a video on it, and then the guy was like, this is the longest running project. It's not, you know, Excel, Word, it's not all the other products you think about. Flying Simulator, yeah, FS, Flying Simulator. And so, because it's their longest running project, it's just really good. They've managed to put the entire world into the software. And so, and it's just a flying simulator. They put the entire world in just to make flying more accurate. Oh my god, that's just, I don't know, in a way it's really funny to me. Spending all that money, you make the entire world for this one piece of equipment. A plane! Anyways, so I was watching an Airbus A320 liftoff process. You know, it's on the runway, and how do you do it? And you know, I'm in that, I think it's called the Cronin-Duger or whatever effect, where you know a little and so you're overconfident and you think, I can do that. And I'm in that phase where I'm like, I know deep down I cannot fly a plane, but I'm like, at least I could start one now. I know some of the buttons to press. And it's super fun, and it's super kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say intuitive, but like, you have to get power to the, like, it's a wee bit, you know, parts of it are similar to, I guess, a car. You've got to, in order to start your engine, you need a starter, which is a battery. And the battery has a starter motor that cranks your engine. And the reasons for this are that, you know, you need the synchronization of all the firing chambers. But for planes, it's a different reason. You also need a way to start it. And it's because the plane needs to spin a certain amount before you can inject fuel. So the compressor stage needs to spin at a certain RPM fast enough so that it can have a sustained burn. I don't know the technicalities of what the words are, but basically you need to go boom in order for you to put more fuel so it can maintain its boom. In order to do that, you need to first tell so from an engine off perspective, you need to tell the plane to connect the batteries. You know, thinking about it now. So planes disconnect their batteries, which is kind of cool, I guess. So you've got to press two buttons because there are two batteries and these buttons are on top. And when you press those two buttons, that gives you power. That connects the batteries, I guess, or turns them on. I don't really know physically what it does, if it connects it or if it just turns it on. But then you've got to, because batteries are, I guess they're small, you need to have some kind of something that generates power. So you've got something called the auxiliary power unit. So once you turn on the batteries, typically on the runway, you can, you know, it's like every other building has got AC power. Like in your house, you've got your socket. So these airports have their own. They're connected to the grid. So because they're connected to the grid, they can just take power from the grid, because the APU is which can also provide power. You know, the name auxiliary power unit has to burn fuel. It's a small jet engine, you know, so it's expensive. You don't want to be, you know, if you've got solar or turbines or renewables or any cheap ass electricity, you don't want to be using expensive jet fuel. So typically the first thing that you do after you turn on the batteries is you press a button. Again, these are all above your head, that says external, EXT. That means that you've got external power. You press the button so it allows external power to flow. Now you turn on the APU, because you need two things in a plane. You need the air conditioning. I don't want to use the word air conditioning, but you need both the electricity and you also need the kind of air. The air is used for pressurizing internals, for keeping everything cool and warm, whatever. And it's also used to start your main engines. You know, you've got your two engines. So the APU, but in this case, so there's a way to start once you get your first engine started, that's fired on your APU. So your APU, because a jet engine, it can produce air, and that air is it can be used to spin the desired required speeds the engine. And once you spin that, the engine can become it can maintain itself basically. It can keep on adding fuel. So then you repeat this process with the second engine, with the APU. In some cases, if your APU isn't working, you can actively use your engines. So you can use your I don't know if it's the APU, but for example, if your APU isn't working, you can have an external air source that can start one of the engines, and then you can go into a designated area, get that engine up to, I don't know, 50% engine power or whatever, and then you can force air from that engine into your second engine and get it running. So you've got a few ways to start the engines. With your engine started, a lot of, I don't remember, I'm going off memory now, because this was kind of interesting to me. I think afterwards, you just, it's called the computer unit or whatever. You have to put in the relevant, plan that you'll be flying the plane via. And other than that, a lot of the other buttons is, I think, to set up navigation. So telling the computer turn on the, I don't know, antennas or whatever. But all I'm saying is, I watched a video, and if I have internet, I can go on YouTube, play the video again, and the specific, plane, I can possibly turn the engines on and start going. But after the setup process, the rest, again, I'm getting into planes a lot, so I'm gonna waffle on this a lot. And then the other stuff is that a plane has it's a 3D object, so it's got its yaw, which moves it left and right, pitch, which moves it up and down, I think, and I forget what the third one is. Let me just Google. Airplane axis of rotation. So you've got your pitch, you've got your roll, and you've got your yaw. So your yaw moves up and down, your pitch moves you, I don't know, but you've got 3 ways to do it. So your back shark fin moves you left and right. Your your tail ends, they move you up and down. I forget, but yeah, if you're turning left and right, you can roll, I guess. Anyways, the most important things are that something's in a small plane, I guess. I don't know how it works in bigger planes, but in small ones, and the rudder, which makes you go left and right, you must always align it with the center of wherever you're going, because else you can have not uncontrolled, but difficulty flying, because that would want you to rotate, and if you're using your wings to turn, that's going to start doing kind of barrel rolls as opposed to just a smooth left and right turn.
Well done, everyone. We've got a zone.
So the way to kind of fly a plane is to have lift from the wings, and that is I don't understand aerodynamics, so I try to understand what that means. And so the shape of a wing is curved on the top and flat on the bottom. Something that's curved, there's, if you're going from point A to point B and you can go in a straight line, it's going to be shorter distance, quicker for you, versus if it's curved, it's going to be a lot more a lot more distance, a lot more time, a lot more. But if you want to maintain the same time to take between the 2 points. One's longer distance, one's shorter. You're gonna have to change your speed basically. And so what that means is that
Putting down a fence.
man didn't follow me. What that means is that the air on the longer distance has to be faster versus the air on the shorter distance. And that, when I googled that, it means that the faster moving air on top of your wing on a plane causes a lower pressure. But intuitively I'm like, wait a minute, isn't pressure like the force over an area? Like, wouldn't faster stuff have higher pressure? Turns out no. Turns out pressure means equal amounts of force in all directions. I guess air pressure, to be specific. And before the air hits your wing, it is kind of random.
We'll know if someone crossed the fence.
And so it applies equal force downwards on the wing or upwards, or whatever it touches the wing, it's from all random directions. But because the air is getting faster and is being, because the plane is going in a specific direction, that air is also going over your plane in a specific direction. And as it goes, as you get, because the air is going faster, there's more air that goes in that specific direction. You are creating, well, by orienting by giving the air a specific direction to go to, you are reducing the pressure. And let me just repeat that, because even I'm getting confused at this point. So what that means is that, so to recap, pressure, air pressure, I guess, I don't know, all pressure maybe,
Recharging my shields.
has to do with the fact that the air is random. If something forces the air to orient it in a certain direction, you are reducing the pressure. The wings in a plane, because the plane is going through the air has to forcefully go around it. So it's going, if your plane is going forward, the air is going to the tail of the plane, if you're, from your nose to your tail. You're forcing the air that way, so you are changing the pressure, you're reducing the pressure. Air that goes faster over the top of the, because your plane is going from A to B and there's air there. The top air above your plane has to go faster because there's more air on the top of your wing. There's more distance on the top of your wing. And so that causes the air on top of your wing to be faster. So air moves faster on the top of your wing because there's more distance and there's air in front of the plane, so it's got to be displaced. And what this means is that there's a lower pressure because more air is being forced on the top of your wing to orient it in a direction. Well, that guy's on my head. I think I might just fist him. Bye-bye. Okay, anyways. So going back to the discussion. So the air on top of your plane is going faster. And that means that air is producing... so all the air around your wing is reducing pressure. Both top and bottom, as far as I understand it. But because there's more... the air above your wing is faster. That means there's more air being forced above your wing. That means that pressure above your wing is even lower than the air pressure below your wing. This has something to do with entropy. Entropy is also to do with giving stuff direction, I guess, as opposed to going in all directions at all points. Giving something direction reduces your entropy. But I don't know much about entropy either. But anyways, reducing randomness of the air reduces the pressure. of the atmosphere, I guess, atmospheric pressure.
Shields recharge.
With that in mind, now we know how a plane works. It works on having, because when there's a pressure difference, the universe as a whole says, fuck that shit, we need to balance it. Voltage difference, pressure difference, you know, any kind of difference, any gradient, you know, height difference, the world really doesn't like it. And so the universe tries to always reduce differences and stuff. And in this case, that creates a force of lift as the air from below the wing
Shields are recharged.
is forced upwards. That's one of the ways that a plane flies. The other one, which I don't know, but which is intuitive to me, is that the particles of air are just that, they're particles. They're like heavy objects, I guess. I'm bad. And because they're heavy objects, they can... Oh my god. Oh my god, why am I so bad? Why am I so bad?
Fence in position.
Why am I so bad? Anyways, that means that they can effectively, you know, if a particle of air can hit me, slowing me down because I take energy away from it and that particle slows down. So if you've got a plane that's angled, you know, the bottom of the wing might hit the particles of air. So the airfoil, the air wing shape, the airfoil, generates lift due to pressure change. In addition to that, the weight of particles, because particles have speed, that speed also can transfer energy by bumping into the plane. And that bumping, I guess, is another way for planes to fly. And so I don't understand pressure much intuitively, but in terms of, you know, things bumping into you and giving energy, that's a lot more intuitive. So whenever you're in a plane window, you can see that the wing and towards the tail end, you know, it folds, cups downwards. So to me, I'm imagining more air particles hitting that, giving it more momentum or whatever, more energy. And you can even see some of it on top. So I think the top one cups the air, so it slows it down like a parachute, and the bottom one hits, I guess, more air particles, so it might speed up. So I think when I was doing the simulation, flaps, I think, is what the back ones are called, and slats are the front one, and then there's ailerons. Flaps and ailerons to this are at the tail end of the wing, and slats are the top end of the wing. And I believe slats are used for slowing down, and flaps are possibly also used for slowing down, but I know that flaps on liftoff are also used, and they essentially extend the wing from either the front end or the tail end, the nose end or the tail end, extend the wing. And so I guess that's one of the ways where you can get more speed from your plane, is via your flap settings. And so when you're, you know, still on the plane topic, you know, you've set up your plane, you've started the APU, you've started your engines, yada yada yada. Now you're going onto the runway. Now you got to set your flap settings, you've got to set your thrust settings. Then you know, after you set whatever thrust you need to lift off, you need something called your velocity markers, I guess. You know, I think V1, I don't know, like V1, VR, and V2. V1 at this is lift off, V2 is rotate. At V1 your planes can actually lift, but you don't want to lift it because the tail might hit the ground, so you'll have enough lift, but if you pull it up, the nose goes up, the tail comes down, hits the tarmac. So you have to wait until your VR, which is your velocity rotate, before you start flying and rotating, I guess, to left or right or up. And in the event that you need to abort a takeoff, you've got your V2 speed. That's the maximum speed at which you have to commit to actually just flying. Like you know, at that point you have no other alternative. And so that is your, I think your V2 speed is at the point where you're allowed to abort. Anything past that V2 speed, you're not allowed to abort, because I think the brakes won't have enough
They got a zone.
grip or something. And these V speeds, I am assuming, are related to
All right, zone's
kind of
ours.
distances on the runway as well. I don't know too much, but yeah. So another thing to note when it comes to my basic understanding of commercial planes, jetliners as they're called, is that
Point jumping.
the jet, the process for landing, I am not went into too much of it, but essentially you set the correct slats which slow down you. So a plane works on two principles: height and speed, and they're trade-offs. If you want to come down from the you know, from a high point to a low point, your speed will increase. But if your speed increases, you cannot actively stop the plane, because the plane has too much speed. I think that guy's lagging nice for me though. But anyways, if you're going too fast, your brakes won't work basically. And so when you're climbing down for a descent to try and get to the runway, your speed will increase. So what's one way to reduce that is by basically parachuting your plane. You increase the slats, and every slat has a specific speed at which it will work. So you have overspeed warnings. And so basically, before you even attempt to land your plane, you've got to get into something, you've got to get into a descent. And the descent depends on the angle of the plane coming down to the ground. You know, you want a nice gradual descent. That's called the glide slope. And there's another one, I forget what the other one is, but basically you've got to be, so angle down, and then you've also got to be in the center of the runway. And they use radios for that. So if you have basically the technology, I'm not going to go into explaining how I think radios work, but if you're interested, you can Google like instrument landing or whatever, and it's quite easy, quite fun. Basically you have, I'm going to explain one way of it without talking about radios, because radios basically work the same way. Basically you have a red color and like a white color, and if you're above here you see red, but if you're below here you see white. If you see both, you're in the center. Okay, so that's, I guess, for height, and for left and right for your center of your runway, you probably have one here and one here, and if you see both of them, that means you're at the center of the runway. Anyways,
They got a zone. Do not let them keep it.
what you have to do is you've got to set up your entire plane
Placed.
so that it maintains specific speeds and stuff. So what you do is you're coming down at each specific speed marker, you increase your, I guess, parachuting effect, I like to call it. You increase your slats, and possibly even your flaps. I don't know.
I'm back.
And so before the plane lands, like, you know, well in advance of the plane landing, what you're basically, you know, the touchdown is kind of a small part. The entire plane is already set up well before the touchdown. And that's kind of really simplifies the complexity of a plane, I guess. I just find that fascinating, because if you reduce the complexity by adding time, you know, people have a difficulty thinking. So what you do is, in order for people to think, is you give them more time. To give them more time is, you know, you make sure they arrange everything in advance. So when they're coming down to the runway and they see, I don't know, maybe they have a bird strike or the engine's down, and so whatever they set up for goes out the window. They don't have to focus on the setup. They don't have to focus on all these, you know, flaps, struts, engine speeds, whatever. They can just focus on, what do I do next? I know we're at this point, and, you know, go around, thrust, whatever. So that's just, I find that so fun. Like, in terms of planes, like, it makes me genuinely want to go, fuck, I wish I could fly a plane so I knew how, you know, how it felt. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's a human thing, you know, like, people everywhere are human, and I think, as me being a human, I think I'm given enough time, training tools, I can achieve what every other human possibly achieved, you know. That's where what my thinking is. That's what kind of my belief is. And so with that in mind, I'm hoping one day I get rich enough to get the. I looked into the pilot training, and it's like £200 for a Cessna, and to be commercial it's even more. And so I'm one day I might save money when I'm old and dying and be like, I remember when I was younger, I swear I could fly a plane. Let me see it do it in my declining cognitive state. Oh god, planes are fun. Planes are cool. I love motorcycles. I love planes. I love, understanding engines. Rotary engines are quite a cool thing as well. I think Mazda's the one that does them, but like, rotary engines are so cool, man.
Zone just got
Like,
neutralized, and it wasn't us.
why do you want to turn up and down motion to rotation? So most engines work on, your engine pistons, individual components go up and down, and then through mechanical connection that makes your wheels turn circle. That's, turning up and down to circle.
We neutralized the zone.
It's I think that's, I don't want to say illogical, but that seems quite hard. And so that's what
Heads up.
I guess the physics possibly shows.
Give my shields
And
a
so
recharge.
some guys were like, why don't we just turn circular motion to different circular motion? Like, electrical motors and generators, they're circular, they're very efficient. So I'm sure that's what, because, they spin by the nature of their design, that makes them more efficient. That's what rotary engines are. And if you're ever interested, just, there's a guy called like Engineering Explained or whatever, and he does a really phenomenal job explaining rotary kind of motors and why they're not feasible and why everyone has tried to recreate them. Turbos are another cool thing. If you understand that, your engine makes power by burning. What is burning? Burning is air, oxygen plus fuel source. You can change the fuel source, or you can, I guess, increase the purity of oxygen. I don't really know. And so turbochargers just do that. They increase the amount of oxygen in the air to give you more power from the same engine. So nowadays we have like 1 liter engines that can do the same as what, I don't know, like 6 liters used to do back in the day. Exaggerations, because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's so cool. Like, it's just so cool. I don't know. Oh, thermodynamics. Not thermodynamics, but like heat pumps. Looking at heat pumps, they're so cool. I don't know how it again happens, but you take your energy and you store it in the ground. So if in the summer you're warm, so what you do is you heat up the ground. In the winter you're cold. In the winter, yes, you're cold. The ground has lava like that underneath it, so the ground is warmer. So you take the heat from there and put it here. Like, it just seems so intuitive to try and, saving heat and using it when required seems such a intuitive thing to do. But of course, science, nature, whatever, there must be reasons why we can't do it. But at the same time, I find it so cool. I genuinely find it so cool. Like planes. Again, I'm waffling about planes, but hey, planes are cool. Planes are naturally stable. What that means is if you stop providing power to it, or if you shake if air comes and starts shaking the plane defaults to, come on, let me hit you. It defaults to, I guess, a nose down position, or like it doesn't suddenly combust and it doesn't become uncontrollable. They're naturally stable. Even in the worst situation, they will always revert, like they'll always be controlled. Whatever, the wings, the flaps, the things that allow planes to turn and go up and down will always turn and go up and down, no matter the situation they're put in, basically. And because of that, they are inherently stable. They're a stabilized system. Compare that to military craft, which in order to get higher, higher higher
Need to recharge my shield.
They got a zone. Giving him the chimney.
performance. You know, they've got to do sharp turns, high G's and everything. In order to achieve that, they've got to be inherently unstable. I don't know the specifics, but you know, if things disturb, like small things can make the plane really difficult to control for the pilot.
منيحة
So
يوكي بس مش بس
This
منيحة
is
ورا بعض هلا اذا جان رن هيك
who is
هلا
speaking?
بدي فوت لنا اياه على الناشف بلا فصل.
People speaking someone. Anyways, so they. So this is a point for how the planes get controlled. So rather than control, because in military craft you need that high performance, the planes are difficult to control. For even trained expert pilots, you need, you know, inhumane skills to control them. So why don't we just put a computer in there? You tell the computer exactly what the plane will do under a lot of, you know, conditions, and we give the pilot a way of, like, you know, tell the plane what we want you to do, and the plane knows, you know, what the environment, everything is going to do to it, and it tries its best to do what you tell it to. And so that is called fly-by-wire. You're using you know, historically planes were as simple as you had ropes connected to your control instruments, your wings, and you pulled, you know, it's similar to ships, which I've never been on a ship until like last year or whatever, and it blew my mind. I'm here in a ship, and I watch the guy as a rope goes behind my back. That rope is looped around to the steering wheel of the captain, and as the captain turns the rope one way, it pushes a rudder and pulls it, you know, at the same time, and that allows the water to push the boat in one direction versus by a rudder movement. You know, so it allows the boat to turn left and right.
Giving him the chimney.
So simple, so elegant, I love it. And so that system works really well if your system is controllable. Small, like, you know, easy inputs. I don't want to say easy, but like, you don't need to have 100 million inputs in order to turn left and right. Comparing that to something like Jet, which is, I'm not going to say needs millions of inputs, but it just needs more and faster than what humans are capable of. Because that we use the fly-by-wire system. We use the computer to augment wherever the, you know, inputs are in a way that the pilot only has to tell it what it wants it to do, and the computer will adjust all the other parameters in order to achieve that. So it's you know, it's like AI in a way, I guess. You know, you tell it what you want it to do, and it tries its best to give it back. Sometimes it's junk, whatever, but anyways. That's what Boeing is in the future going to be doing, or maybe some of them probably that's what planes do. I don't know. I know Airbus does them. So in Airbus, they don't have mechanical, physical cables connected to their controls and things. They have cables, electrical cables that are there to, you know, take the input from the yoke, which is a hand controller, you know, for like games, I guess. And that tells the computers on board what to do. The world is just so interesting. Oh my god. And I am so bad. I'm just gonna... Oh, both sides.
Up in the chimney.
Punch. 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 Please, punch. Please, punch. Oh, I suck ass. I suck ass. I should have just started shooting. Anyways.
Recharging my shields. Reunite here.
And I wish I had the ability to
Double timing it.
They are halfway to glory, TIE fighters.
Give my shields a recharge.
build like a solar farm or something. It feels so cool to be able to be like, you know, generating electricity from the sun. And I think it's solar panels are a quantum phenomena. I don't really know how they work. I remember reading somewhere
Up in the chimney.
that they work on the
Heads up. Dropping the pain.
electron bands or whatever. The sun has types, you know, electromagnetic, whatever. I got a kill. I've never seen that before. I got kills. Oh, I wanted him to move to the anus. But like, I don't think it's quantum phenomena actually. I think what I'm talking about is photosynthesis, the ability to turn light into energy. I think that might be a quantum phenomena. Never understand quantum. They always use this analogy of quantum is having, you know,
Contact with target.
millions of outputs, and so it can give you okay, I'm gonna stop because I'm bad. It can give you
Hostile right here.
answers. So if your question requires you to go through millions of, I guess, paths or,
Taking a moment to
you know,
recharge my shields.
I don't even understand, to be honest, but
Hostile close.
if your question is like not a simple input to output question, like, you know, if you want to know how maybe a wind particle will move, I don't know if it's a quantum example or not, but it's related to a million other wind particles, so that's multiple inputs you've got to work with in order to get one output. If that's your kind of question, then quantum somehow manages to go through all of the interactions between the wind particles to tell you how your wind particle will travel. Or you can use the quantum phenomena to try and give you a best probabilistic answer to your question. Oh, I should have hit that guy. Anyway,
You mind if I don't feel bad for you? Right, thanks, mate.
which is quite cool. That's interesting. Like, being able
Take
to...
me up taking us to new heights, Newty.
But I think that's also, like, I've been looking at it a wee bit, and I think that's also an analogy that's quite,
In the chimney.
I guess,
Spotted.
not to my liking. Because at the end of the day, it also gives you one solution, you know. So it's not that it goes through all the different particles and gives you like you know, everyone says quantum, you know, and the example I understand is quantum computing gives you millions of outputs, and you wouldn't know the state of your output because, like, you know, it could be yes or no or anything in between, and so a normal computer will only give you yes or no, but a quantum computer can tell you everything in the middle of yes or no.
You are the Apex champions.
I think that's wrong. I think analogously, maybe that's what it's doing, but reality is it has to give you a specific answer. And, you know, it has to tell you whatever. But that's just my thinking on the topic. I don't know. I think the world is... I'm just a small ant in the world and so much better. Love the times. Kind of do wonder. Like, I don't know if it's narcissism speaking, but you always want to feel important. And so, like, imagining going back in time and having this, you know, surface level knowledge and maybe making the world, you know, like creating your own company and you know, it's kind of, I don't want to use the word conquest, but I guess economic conquest, where you know, wherever you land back in the day, because you're managed to progress that local society so much, you know, everybody wants a piece of them, and so they, you know, through whatever methods they accumulate power and then integrate the whole world, and you have a one uniform society. I love reading like those kind of stories, or stories where there's a unique advantage that's knowledge based as opposed to kind of
I put the time in. I've earned my stripes.
inheritance based, that, you know, you're not the son of a king, you know, it's the underdog story, you know. You get a guy, he knows a wee bit, you know, he's a peasant, whatever, and he manages to, using this knowledge, improve, like, you know, the world is capitalistic, you know, people buy his shit because it's better, and the world becomes, you know, better, you know. He might create a new, you know, bomb, or he might create medicine or alchemy, or, you know, a lot of the stuff that I really love is like having a world rules, like a rules-based world, I guess, for like magic. So like magic isn't, you know, no one's doing magic at their ass, I guess, and it is like a science, and using science-based principles to try and
Double timing it. Pop in the chimney.
I don't want to use the word revolutionize, but gain an advantage over kind of the thoughts that it's you know, based on art, or it's based on like just you know, using, looking at the problem a different way than people have looked at it historically, you know, in that world of magic, and being able to formalize its problems in that different aspect, and so you can use the tools from your existing world. You know, it might be mathematics you're using, it might be art, literature, whatever, it might be linguistics you're using, whatever, but being able to reformat the magical world into what you know, and being able to use that to solve the problems of that world, you know. A lot of cases it's like, you know, alchemy. Well, it's just potions and... I need to... Oh, I should have won that. Anyway, but, you know, knowing that relationships between existing elements, or, you know, trying to use your knowledge from your current world, your, you know, chemistry knowledge, whatever, and being able to reformat the problems. You know, you want to create X, Y, Z. Well, what are the basic components of it? What does it look like? Okay, this alchemy is a tool that allows me to, based on, you know, the rules of this world, maybe it's ether you got mixed in, it gives me this output, and I can see that this output is based on the input products, and those input products are based on, I don't know, oxygen and I don't know, like gold, and it gives me a liquid elixir or whatever. But if I add, instead of gold, I add silver. We know silver's a very stable, high, you know, conductive, both in terms of heat and whatever. What kind of elixir would it give me? Is it cheaper? Is it have the same properties of the healing elixir or whatever? You know, maybe put in composite, not composite, but I don't know enough chemistry knowledge, but put
Smoke out.
he's here. Nice. But like salts, are they called? I don't know, like metal compounds, and see how they do, you know. Revolutionizing the world, you know, people want to be healed, they want their healing potions, so trying to reverse engineer them to understand what actually causes them to work, etc. That's just, you know, one thing I can think of through my head, but those are the kind of stories I love reading. Being able to reformat, you know, the problem of making healing potions into a problem of just having the right temperature or chemicals or you know, understanding the relationship between the outputs and the inputs better in our to optimize it. And that's something that I don't think it needs a good word building. You know, you need to consistently be able to. Oh, get wrecked! I love playing FPS games. They give you movement like that, man. I love playing Watson because I can just spam fences and create basically a wall that will stun people. I love playing Bangalore. I haven't played her in such a long time, but is the speed boost. That new mode that gives you the ability to wall jump. Oh, that's there. Anyways, those are the kind of stuff that I love doing. Wee, I suck ass. 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 God, I'm bad. I am extraordinarily bad. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and finish up after this game and go get some grub. I'm really feeling pizza, but I'm fat and pizza's expensive as well. We've got this local like Turkish guy. I like to think he's Turkish. Could be Kurdish. I thought my barber was Turkish and I was like, no, I am Kurdish. And I'm like, what is Kurdish? And then I realized they are, I think they are really goodies, I guess, in the war or whatever. They're a group of people that don't have a land of their own and they're, I guess, being abused because of that. So they're violently trying to become, I don't want to use the word violently, but they're passionately trying to become independent. They helped the Americans in fighting in Syria, I think, against ISIS, and then the Americans decided to bless them by having them all killed and betraying them. So, yay! I love politics in the world. Wee. Wee. Oh my god, I'm a beast! I'm a beast! Yeah, I'm a beast. I love playing Bangalore. Benga. Wee. I'm just gonna fist you. I'm gonna fist you. That's what I thought. What are you gonna do about that, man? What are you gonna do about it?
Give my shields a recharge.
I'm bad, but yo, okay, I'm being mean now. I'm bad, and you're okay. You're okay. So there. I'm gonna bomb myself.
Throwing arc star. Throwing a frag.
Juicing me shield.
Spotted.
I'm leaving you some presents. Oh, I was looking at a guide that explains all the wars and how all the people always, like the main armies you think are gonna win, always kind of lose. It's always to do with RPGs.
I'm spotted. Double timing it.
Oh my god.
Time to bring it home.
I love. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I love Mozambique. Just so everybody needs to know, I love Mozambiques. Mozambiques are the best thing out there.
I need help.
Mozambique supremacy. Like, I don't like the new 2 times. One time Mozam. It's just so good. Oh my god, that was. I need the 2 times on this shit, man. This slays. Isn't it?
Up in the chimney. Come on in. Old Painless is waiting.
I'm just bad with aiming, but 2 times would definitely help.
Double timing it. I've been snared.
Let's go here.
Oh, if I didn't have a guy behind me, I think I would have been shot from behind, yeah. If I didn't have that guy, I think I could be possibly killed. Probably gonna play more later on. I like playing Apex and League. I recently figured out you can use Aurelion Soul in League of Legends as a bot lane APC. Attack. Protect. Carry. I don't know what the APC stands for. Anyways, or ADC. Attack damage carry, so attack AP attack power carry. Okay. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your days wherever you are. And that's me out for today. But yeah,